Who loves the bongos? Alright, you battlers, I did finally decide to TM away superpower on my Snorlax and to give it Earthquake. That is typically the recommended move. You want Lick Body Slam Earthquake. For the longest time, I was just going Lick Body Slam Superpower, but we did try out Earthquake for the set. I am still stuck in rank 9 purgatory.
The endless rank 9 grind.
I try not to make such a huge deal out of it since it is preseason. I am going to be including all of the actual IVs of my Pokemon that I use in these battles. And then my Swampert is the only good PvP IV mon in this team. In a lot of matchups, honestly, you don't want that. You want the higher attack situations. And the first opponent we get matched up against, I'm going to be leading this Giratina Altered every single time. They actually open up with the Articuno, so funny enough, I'm not going to swap out from this matchup. I know it probably would be a good idea to, probably into the Snorlax, but I'm just going to go, I decided to stay in. I got the boost, obviously, but I decided to just stay in anyways, and I'm just going to go straight Ancient Power into the Articuno, because I know if I invest both shields, I can, potentially win this matchup, if not make it super uncomfortably close, because it seems like a lot of people that I run into who run the lead Articuno strategy rely a lot on doing some amazing work with that lead Articuno. So I threw him off a bit. He actually ended up swapping out of his Articuno, funny enough. In the moment I was like, that's interesting. I don't know why he did that, but he did come in with his own Giratina. And this is also why I prefer still the Shadow Claw variant of Giratina instead of Dragon Breath. Because of its energy efficiency, I was able to swing the entire battle so much, a lot in my favor. Even though it was a unfavorable lead, I feel like I definitely still have the advantage. I believe he comes back in with the Articuno. He does. I built up enough energy with the Snorlax. I'm just going to straight throw body slams at it. It's probably going to Icy Wind me again. Honestly, I really don't care if it Icy Winds me with the Snorlax because he's so spammable with the body slam that the Articuno, I just need to get rid of it. I don't want to have that matchup or the potential threat of, the Swampert. My Swampert being Icy Winded if I had swapped into it, right? So I'm just going to leave Snorlax out here, let him do his tanky thing. Looks like they have their own Swampert in the back, so I decide to go double Body Slam. I could have built up to an Earthquake, but honestly, I just prefer to go double Body Slam in the moment, and they have not really many options, honestly. But, even with how it opened, again, even though it was technically an unfavorable lead for me, that's going to be a hard GG's. They do get off double Hydro Cannon, but I have my own Swampert. That's a hard GG's. GG's trainer. Next opponent we get matched up against Wolf for the win. 2 ends there. Now, I believe they opened up, yeah. So Wolf actually opened up with Snorlax. That's really not ideal for me. I don't like it at all. But that's the thing about Snorlax, right? Even though it's almost like a guarantee for me every single time that they're running Body Slam if they bring Snorlax. I've never run into anybody who brings Snorlax and does not run Body Slams so far. But I decided to swap out into my Swampert anyways, because again, with my team composition, if they have this Venusaur, which he does, he brought the Venusaur, again, with the additional bulk we have in Ultra League compared to Great League, I can comfortably reach the Earthquake. I take the shield, then I just come back in with my Giratina, then basically towards the end of the match, it's gonna be a Snorlax mirror. It's going to be Lick versus Lick, which is not the best. Honestly, it's not the best matchup. Really not the most entertaining. And I think I actually ended up taking an L, and it might have been because of that swap specifically, is why I ended up taking the loss, because I swapped out of the Giratina with my Snorlax into their Venusaur, and I took a Frenzy Plant to the face, and now I'm in a situation where I'm going to end up using both shields, or I know there's no way I'm going to be able to end up winning. So realistically, I probably should have just stayed in, but they come in with their own Giratina anyways. Big surprise there, and I'm able to reach an Earthquake. Do I take the... No, I think I definitely take the loss for this match from what I remember. I think it was pretty close, but I definitely end up taking the loss now. They get a Dragon Claw off. Again, with Shadow Claw, I'm able to build up energy quick enough that I can get to my own Dragon Claw to throw at their Giratina. And you can see how close the mirror is there. We both go down. Excuse me. We both go down at the same time. I'm able to lick down the Venusaur. But at this point, even if I was able to reach my own Body Slam, I'm not going to do enough to that Snorlax. GG's trainer. Now at the end of that battle, it was not that I was salty, but it's that I realized something. I basically have, you know, some threats covered since I TM'd Superpowered Earthquake on my Snorlax, so the Swampert kind of feels more of a liability with that comp. So as you can see, I swapped and I ended up including Charizard instead of Swampert because the Venusaur and the way I swapped previously was a problem. So the line basically stays the same besides the fact that we drop the Swampert and we come in with a Charizard. Now, this opening isn't really ideal for us. I think this guy, wait, I'm pretty sure this opponent ended up rage quitting because I went for the Shadow Ball, I called it, I used a shield, and they quit. GG's trainer. Next opponent, hopefully they do not rage quit, but it is I'll just say stand, but they open up with the Articuno. So again, for the set so far, this is the second Articuno lead that I have seen. Again, I'm a little more comfortable still, especially since now that I have the Charizard that I can answer the Articuno with. That was a bad swap on their part. I'm 100% sure that was a bad swap because they come in with the Meganium and I just go straight Blast Burn. The Meganium is gonzo. Now they come back in with their Giratina. I'm going to throw a Dragon Claw because that's going to deal obviously the super effective damage towards their Giratina. And I believe I invest a shield right now because I want to see if I can throw one more Dragon Claw, work the switch clock timer, and then swap out. Did I? I'm pretty sure I did. I built up energy. Yeah. Okay. So I built up energy, swapped out, come into my Giratina. I went straight for the Dragon Claw, but they did counter swap in good timing to their Articuno. But again, you know, with how everything has gone so far, the advantage is definitely towards me, even with this disadvantageous matchup. They use all their energy essentially to get rid of the Giratina. They went double Icy Wind. Funny enough, so I actually decided to come back in with the Snorlax instead of coming back in with the Charizard because, you know, they just used the shield, but because they had another shield, I don't want my Charizard to take an Icy Wind. I built up this energy for a reason. Now I come back in, I Blast Bird the Articuno into the Shadow Realm, and then their Giratina comes back in. Of course, they go for the Ancient Power. They do not get the boost, but our Charizard is gonzo, and they do not like this matchup at all. I believe he throws, it might have been pretty close in the end. No, so he throws an Ancient Power. I just want to go for the Earthquake to end the game. So that is a GG's trainer. So Jung's up here, opens up with the Venusaur. That is definitely not a lead they want to see into my Giratina. They counter swap into their own Giratina, and I am just going to go straight Dragon Claw, I believe, at this point, because I know their Venusaur has at least 1 or 2 Vine Whips in, so they have a little bit of an energy lead with that Venusaur, and it wasn't exactly ideal for them to swap in with their Giratina. As you'll notice, though, so their Giratina is running Dragon Breath. It's depleting my health pretty quick, but at this point, I'm like, you know what? I would rather just save the Giratina that I have. Shadow Claw down, which that was a pretty close call, but I think it ended up paying off in the end. Now they come in with the Steelix, so I'm like, okay, this is pretty much GG's at this point, just based on the team that this trainer brought and the team that I brought. I'll just throw the rest of the energy that I have at the Steelix here to do a little bit of chip damage here and there, and then I come back in with the Charizard. Now, this is actually a little closer than you might think. Crunch still does a surprising little chunk into Charizard, and I have no shields left, and I believe at this point, yeah, they still have 2, so I bait with a Dragon Claw, and it was a legitimate bait. I believe I had enough to throw a Blast Burn, but we get the shield successfully. Now they come back in with their, I come in with the Snorlax, and I'm just going to throw the Body Slam. I believe that was a mistake as well, too, that they had shielded the Body Slam. It's not going to TKO the Steelix at this range in Ultra League, and now I'm able to lick down, build up some more energy. I want to throw... Yeah, I was too greedy. I wanted to throw an Earthquake into the Venusaur, which I didn't need to. I should have honestly just gone Body Slam, but since they did use their energy, I'm able to Blast Burn into this Venusaur for the win. GG's trainer. And it looks like that was the end of it for that set. Somehow I feel like all the sets I do, I'm never able to go 5-0. I feel like there's always one battle in a set where it ends up being really close, or I just take a clean L and I'll get the rest of the 4 wins. Again, though, you know, this is preseason. We're not even in season yet. Even when Master League hits, I urge you, I'm going to do it myself, but don't throw, if you can avoid it, don't throw too much dust, if any dust, unless you absolutely need to, even for the preseason and Master League. Save up the resources that you have, because again, we really have no idea if they're going to throw new moves at us. So, You know, even at this point, even in the Ultra League, I would save those resources, save the resources as much as you can and hold on to them until the season hits. But that was pretty much it for this video. Do I think that Earthquake is absolutely necessary on Snorlax? No, I definitely do not feel like it's absolutely necessary. Not at all, but especially in the mirror and when we also have the steel matchups. Personally, I still prefer Superpower. So subscribe if you feel my vibe and power up punch the notification bell for all the PvP content. That's it for this video. We'll see you in the next video. Battlers, have a good stinking day.